All right, Falcons fans, let's talk about it. August 9th wasn't just another preseason date. It was the day the Falcons' entire plan started to fall apart. Braylon Trice, third-round pick out of Washington, was supposed to be one of the breakout rookies of the year. This dude was getting first and second team reps during OTAs and camp. Coaches were fired up. He wasn't just flashing, he was seriously pushing for playing time in a pass rush unit that needed help in the worst way. But then came the preseason opener against the Dolphins. One awkward move, one painful scream, and Trice hit the turf hard. The trainers rushed in, the stadium went quiet, and just like that, the hype around Atlanta's new-look pass rush took a brutal hit. 2 days later, worst-case scenario, torn ACL. Trice's rookie season was over before it even started, and that's when things started spiraling. The Falcons, clearly rattled, made a bold move. They traded a 2025 third-rounder to New England for Matthew Judon, four-time Pro Bowler. Big name. Supposed to steady the defense, but it didn't quite go that way. Judon played all 17 games and ended with just 5.5 sacks. Way below expectations for a guy of his caliber. Now fans were asking, did everything start falling apart the moment Trice went down? Raheem Morris basically said yes. At the NFL owners' meetings, he called that injury a major turning point, said it forced the team to completely rethink their approach. The tone in his voice, pure disappointment. He even compared Trice's potential to Judon's. And that ain't just some throwaway comment. That's belief. That's trust in what they saw in this kid. Here's where it gets interesting. Even though Trice didn't play a single regular season snap, the Falcons are still betting on him. Raheem has made it clear. They're confident in what he showed in camp and the preseason. We were really excited to see him in the regular season, Morris said. Unfortunately, we never got the chance. Now look, Atlanta's pass rush in 2024, near the bottom of the league, only 31 total sacks, and 21 of those came in a late-season surge. Just imagine if Trice had been healthy all year. Would that number have gone up? Would the season have played out differently? You got to think, yeah, maybe it really could have. All right, let's be honest. You can't throw the whole thing on one rookie. Braylon Trice put up real numbers at Washington. 7 sacks, 11.5 tackles for loss, 53 pressures in his final season. That's production. But going from college to the NFL, that's a different animal. Expectations got to be realistic. Still, when the Falcons go back and watch the tape from camp, they see those flashes. The motor, the burst, the energy. And it's hard not to think about what could have been. And it's not like the rest of the rookie class made it any easier. Second-round pick Rook Orhorhoro struggled with injuries all season. He played just 8 games, finished with 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 QB hit. Not great. Fourth-rounder Brandon Dorlus barely touched the field. 2 games, 3 tackles. That's it. The whole D-line rookie group just kinda existed. No real impact. Just a developmental year that left fans asking more questions than getting answers. But Raheem Morris isn't backing down. I really got confidence in all those guys, he said. And you know what? He might be right. Year 2 is where the big leaps usually happen. He's betting that group takes off. Now here's something interesting. Trice isn't just rehabbing, he's leveling up. In March, he married his longtime girlfriend Ariana, who's also a former Washington athlete. That's a fresh start off the field. That's maturity. That's a guy coming back in 2025 with more than just physical strength. He's got stability. He'll be back with the team when off-season programs kick off April 22nd. And according to Raheem, Trice is one of the key guys they're counting on this year. And he won't be alone. The Falcons went out and brought in some serious help. Veteran pass rusher Leonard Floyd is in. Jordan Fuller takes over at safety. Divine Diablo adds juice to the linebacker core. It's a full-on retool, but Morris keeps pointing to that second-year group. That's where he sees the foundation being built. And leading the charge, Braylon Trice. So here's the million-dollar question. What if Trice delivers? What if he becomes the guy they hoped Matthew Judon would be? That would flip the entire Falcons defense on its head, not just for this year, but moving forward. But let me ask you this, Falcons Nation. Do you believe Braylon Trice can bounce back and be that guy? Or do you think Atlanta still needs to go out and find a proven edge rusher? And while Trice's return is one of the biggest storylines of the 2025 season, it's just one piece of what could be a massive move brewing behind the scenes. Because up in Pittsburgh, things are getting spicy. Tensions are heating up between the Steelers and their star pass rusher, T.J. Watt. The 2021 Defensive Player of the Year is entering the final season of that monster contract he signed 3 years ago. And folks, it's getting real interesting. Let's rewind real quick. When T.J. Watt signed that deal a few years ago, he became the highest paid defensive player in the entire NFL. Dude was at the top. But fast forward to today, his $28 million per year salary, it's now ranked 9th among defenders. 9th for TJ freaking Watt, a game wrecker, a sack machine, a perennial all-pro. That's not sitting right. Now, Watt hasn't said much out loud, but you know where the clues show up? Social media. And he dropped a cryptic Instagram post that lit the rumor mill on fire. Soon after, league whispers started bubbling up. Is there trouble in contract talks between Watt and the Steelers? NFL insider Ian Rappaport didn't confirm anything directly, but he sure stirred the pot. I think we can safely say contract negotiations between T.J. Watt and the Steelers are not off to a rip-roaring start, he said. And listen, when Rappaport uses that tone, you pay attention. Now here's where it gets juicy for Atlanta. Remember earlier this offseason? The Falcons tried to make a play for Myles Garrett, came up short. But if Watt is even remotely available, that door just swung back open. And this time, the prize might be even bigger. Just picture it. T.J. Watt in a Falcons jersey. That's not some Madden fantasy. That's a legit possibility if the front office gets aggressive. Yeah, Watt's turning 30. So what? He's still elite. Even in what people called a down year in 2024, he racked up 11.5 sacks and led the league with 6 forced fumbles. That kind of production would have been historic in Atlanta's pass rush room. And here comes the wild twist. There's been quiet chatter about Kirk Cousins being part of a potential deal. The Steelers were loosely linked to Cousins earlier this year. So now people are asking, could Pittsburgh, stuck in quarterback limbo, see Cousins as a bridge guy? Could the Falcons pull off a monster trade, flipping Cousins, adding some picks, and landing T.J. Watt? It wouldn't be easy. Atlanta would probably need to cough up multiple first-rounders. Cousins might not even be the main piece in the deal. More of a contract balancer. But hey, with the Falcons getting more cap space next year, the numbers could line up. It's risky. It's expensive. But it's also possible. And one thing's for sure. The Falcons aren't just sitting around. If they swing big and land Watt, that could be the boldest defensive rebuild in Atlanta Falcons history. So now it's your turn, Falcons fans.
Would you trade multiple first-round picks to bring in TJ Watt right now? Would you flip Cousins to make it happen? Let that sink in. The stakes are high, and the opportunity massive.